In our video on Scrum Fundamentals, we laid out the rules of the game, the events, the accountabilities, and the artifacts. But if you stop there, you're simply reading a manual. To truly master Scrum, you must understand the DNA that makes the framework breathe. That DNA is empiricism. Today, we aren't just talking about meetings. We're talking about the engine of modern delivery. If you don't understand the three pillars, transparency, inspection, and adaptation, you aren't doing Scrum. You're just doing Waterfall in 2-week chunks. Let's get into it. First, let's establish the why. Traditional management, the sort we've seen for decades, relies on defined process control. Think of a Victorian assembly line. You plan every movement, and as long as the inputs remain the same, the output is predictable. This works for building a brick wall or a motorway, but it fails in the complex, volatile world of software and innovation. Scrum is based on empirical process control. This theory asserts that in complex environments, the future is fundamentally unknown. Therefore, knowledge can only come from experience and making decisions based on what is actually observed. This shift from predictive to empirical is exactly why Scrum replaces a 200-page project plan with a series of short, transparent loops. We stop pretending we have a crystal ball. Pillar 1 is transparency, the shared truth. Transparency is the foundation. You cannot fix what you cannot see, and you certainly cannot fix what you're hiding. Transparency means that the process and the work must be visible to those performing it and those receiving it. But here is where the pros separate themselves from the amateurs. Transparency is not just visibility. It is shared understanding. If a developer tells a product owner that a feature is 90% done, that isn't transparent. That's a finger in the wind. If your product backlog is buried in a spreadsheet that the stakeholders can't decipher, you don't have transparency. This is why the definition of done is your most powerful tool. It is the formal contract that ensures when we say done, everyone, from the managing director to the newest apprentice, means the exact same thing. Without a clear definition of done, transparency is an illusion, and every decision you make afterward will be based on a fiction. Pillar 2 is inspection, the reality check. If transparency is about seeing the truth, inspection is about evaluating it. Scrum isn't a set-it-and-forget-it framework. It provides 4 formal opportunities, the events, to stop and look at our progress toward our goals. Let's be clear, inspection is not a status report for a manager or a performance review for developers. It is a professional health check by the Scrum team to detect undesirable variances. In sprint planning, we inspect the product backlog to see what's most valuable next. In the daily Scrum, the developers inspect their progress toward the sprint goal. In the sprint review, we inspect the increment with stakeholders to see if we're actually building the right thing. In the sprint retrospective, we inspect our own team health, tools, and ways of working. Remember this, inspection is useless if you aren't inspecting against a goal. If you're just looking at a list of tickets without measuring them against the sprint goal or the product goal, you aren't inspecting. You're just having a chat. Pillar 3 is adaptation, the strategic pivot. If transparency is the light and inspection is the eyes, adaptation is the hands that turn the wheel. Inspection without adaptation is the single biggest waste of time in the corporate world. It's like stepping on a scale, seeing you've put on a stone, and then immediately reaching for the jammy Dodgers. The inspection happened, but the adaptation failed. Adaptation is the immediate adjustment we make to minimize further deviation. In Scrum, we don't wait for a quarterly steering committee to sign off on a change request. We adapt every single day at the daily Scrum. If we realize a feature is too complex, we adapt. If the market shifts, we adapt. Scrum is a pivot machine. The faster you can adapt, the more value you deliver and the less budget you waste. Empiricism is why Scrum works where others fail. It's a relentless professional loop. See the truth. Check the progress and change the plan. If this breakdown helped you master the why of Scrum, hit that like button and subscribe to follow the full series. I'll see you in the next one.